Hi Airmen, welcome to Ocean RC, Captain Mike here. I have the Freewing F-18 64mm 4-cell version. We are totally blown away by its flight character because the F-18 has such a wide wing root glove. Landings and slow flight are just amazing in a breeze. So with that, let's put this together and we'll show you what we did to bring out the best character out of this F-18. Let's first take a look at the screws in the kit. The smallest screws, which are 4mm, will go to the stabs. There's only 2 of them. The 4 longest screws will go to the front wheel assembly, as well as the mid-size screws, the second largest. They will go to the wheel assembly too. And that leaves us 4 8mm screws, which will screw the wings on. This is material that you can pick up at department stores that have a housewares. This is lining that you can use inside of a drawer. It's a non-slip. You can also use it as to open jars and things of that sort as a gripper. Well, I've cut a piece the size of the battery tray. So I'm going to take the glue. I'm using foam tack. And I'm going to place this in here. Now this is totally optional, but I found, and so is a lot of folks out there in the RC, that putting this stuff down in your battery bay keeps the battery from sliding around. First thing I want to do is set the center position on the wheel assembly here on the front wheel. So I went ahead and plugged in the receiver and armed it. I bound it to my radio and set it up. As you can see, it's a little bit off because as I look at the bottom there, and I want to get that as close to center as possible. The screw is covered by this particular arm right here. So best thing to do for this is go ahead and move the trim tab on the radio, and now it's in this position. We can actually take out the screw if I have a screwdriver with a head in it, like this, all right. I'm going to take it completely out. I'm going to pick up the control arm here, snap that off. Just like so. I'm going to take the screw completely out. Just like so. I'm going to set the trim tab back to 0. Just like so, and get this arm as close as I can to the center. It's going to be a little bit off, I fear. But I can put it the opposite way, so let me see if that works better. And I'm going to get it as close as I can. And probably at the factory this is as close as it will be, but we'll soon find out. I'm going to pick this back up and just put this head back on here, this arm, best I can. And actually, it's now straight. Check that out. So I'm going to verify that that is as straight as it will go. Yes, it is. Now, I can't get the screw back in because this arm's here. No problem. So I'm going to move that just enough where I can get the screw back into it. And that's how you set your front wheel. Just like so. Now we can move the trim tab back to center. Right there's the center. And now that's nice and queued up. Now, if you can't get it as queued up as you like it, just go ahead and use your rudder trim tab to center it, because there is no rudder on this airplane, so you're just working with just the front wheel. So let's go install our wheels now. I'm going to put a little bit of glue, just dabs, just enough across these areas here, just to add a little bit more rigidity in case we do the dreaded, oh no, that was a bad landing, or we do a bounce. Carefully put the wire in there so we don't get it all gooped up with glue. I'm just putting enough glue on there just to hold that. I'm going to feed that through. Then we can connect that back to the receiver. This will fit right in there. And this fits just like so. That glue will help out a little bit. The biggest screws in the kit go on this platform. Be sure not to over tighten the screws, but get them as snug as you can. The rear wheels will go in just like this, and they'll snap right in. Just put the springy part forward. We'll push those all the way in like so. Now our wheels are on, and we can continue the build. Now it's time to put the rail on. Just put some foam tack on this. Don't want too much. It's a good pressure fit, and we don't want too much glue to seep out when you put it on. You want this little square part down here at the bottom of the wing. And don't forget to do the other side. Time to put the wing on. We'll peel the tape off. This will expose the wire lead. I'm going to use a control rod to get inside there and pull that wire out a little bit. Connect it together according to color. Add the wing spar, just slip the wing spar into the slot. Feed the wires in. Slide the wing on. Just like that. Going to use two 8mm screws. Nice and dandy. It's time for the stabilizers. These are full stab, by the way, so they turn just like this. I'm going to start them first. Get them in there as straight as you can. Now we can go ahead and put those in. Start screwing those down. Be careful because you can shear these off. You want them to sit into that slot. And if they go into the slot, they'll lock down pretty nicely and won't come off. I still have a little bit of movement. I went in too far. There we go. Now it's nice and locked. We'll have these actually doing their job just like that. Same way on the other side. I'm noticing that on the servo arm, I've got one back and one forward. It's kind of hard to tell which one is supposed to go where, because sometimes you can bring one back and it will be off again, or you can bring the other one up. I'm going to guess that it's this one. And I'm going to try to match it as much as I can, or the best I can, to the other arm. So I'm going to pull this off and probably go at one more notch up. It has about the same angle as the other one. I'm just going to put this in just a little bit, just so I don't lose the screw. I'm going to test this out. Get off to the side here, and it looks like they are both going pretty well even now. And again, sometimes you have to change them both, but you just want to get these as even as possible. That's how Pilot Ryan and I get some of the best flights and best character out of our planes. If you're always having problems with, you know, pulling and weirdness, it's probably just not set up right, and probably haven't taken the time to do that. Go ahead and put the clevis on the control arm. Now in the instructions, they show that on your servo arm, there's 4 holes. We only have 3. So whenever I see that, they want it on the second one, I'll go ahead and put it on the outside hole. And it looks like I've got a little ways to go before this thing is straight. I'm going to use the seam as the neutral point that runs right down the aircraft here. And get that as close as I can to the other one, which looks like it's about there. And put this one back in here. And let's hope that that is the size we need. Time to put the nose cone on. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue onto the inside edge of the cone, where it's half on the inside and half on the ridge out. And then I'm going to put that on and make it nice and tacky, spin it around a bit. And that cone should stick on there just right. This next step is pure option. I like taking the Nerf Vortex Howler whistles, which are right here. And what I like doing is taking them out. I'll put them on a grinding wheel and I'll take the nub off, because there is this big piece that kind of hangs around here. I just get it on a grinding wheel, belt sander or anything like that. Sand that down and it makes a smaller hole. And I'm actually going to put this inside the plane to give it a cool whistle sound like this, as the air blows over it. So the best spot to do that is I'm going to drill a hole right here on this inside edge. I'm just going to drill by hand on the drill here, and if you notice, this is the depth right here at this first line of this whistle. So I'm going to go right inside this chamber right here. I know it sounds scary, doesn't it? And I should have kept the stabilizer off for this, but for time's sake, so I just now penetrated inside this hole here. You can see some of the debris coming out right here. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put this whistle just like this inside here, so when the air blows, we're going to get a neat jet turbine-y sound. I have the whistle installed right here. And this little space right here is awesome because it doesn't go to the other side like some jets do. So that whistle fits in there just right. And that's the smallest whistle. And when I start that up, we're going to get an awesome turbine sound. So I'm going to put the nozzle assembly on. There's a little notch right here, which will go into the side right here. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue around here. make it tacky by pulling it off and on. And kind of smearing it around just a little bit, and this should start to tack up. And then I'm going to be playing with this for a while, holding this and making sure that it doesn't start pulling itself apart. Once that's been glued, I'm going to go ahead and tack a little bit of foam tack around this outer edge all the way around. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. There's a little bit of molding blemish, so I think this one looks better. So I'm going to start here and start spinning that. Just getting that glue a little tacky, and it will hold itself on. And I'll just monitor that for about the next 5 minutes to make sure that that's going to stay on there just right. It's time to put the tail fins on. Just going to run a bead of foam tack right across the way around, halfway up, because I don't want it to start seeping out and making a mess. Very colorful plane for a F-18. I'll keep playing around with it until it gets very tacky and sticks. Again, the kit glue is just as good. Our plane is now complete. Don't forget to put on the antennas. We got a black one here on top, and in the front on the bottom we have the gray one. Also consult your manual because there are callouts for exponential as well as differential. Once you program that into your radio, you are ready to fly. Now check out this sound. Too shabby for a 64mm fan. Now, if you don't put in the Vortex howler whistle, that's okay. You still get the whooshy and powerful sound that these Freewing jets have. So be sure to tune in for when we fly this in our video for the flight demonstration. Also check out the rest of our videos because we always have a lot of how-tos and also some new products coming out all the time. So with that, I'm Captain Mike from Motion RC. We will see you out at the field.